Hi, everyone. Welcome to Off the Record podcast. I am Kenise,
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Shawnee.
and we're once again really excited to have you guys join us again for our podcast. And we hope you guys are really enjoying everything, all of our topics, even if you're not enjoying our topics. Just thank you for joining us today to see if you're going to enjoy this topic. But I think they're really going to enjoy this topic. What do you guys think?
I think so. It's a good one.
Right. So we've we really positioned this entire month to talk about wellness, overall wellness, mental, physical, emotional connections, everything. So today we're going to talk about career wellness. Yeah. Is there such a thing as career wellness? Maybe we should start this trend. There's career wellness. So my first question to you, beautiful ladies that are sitting here on the Off the Record podcast, is how fulfilled do you currently feel in your career path that you guys are currently on?
So, I can start us off. I'm fortunate and blessed enough that yes, I can say without a doubt, I do feel fulfilled in the career that I've chosen. Was it always like that? No, it was a journey to get to where I'm at right now, and it took a lot of trial and error for me to finally be on this path. But yeah, I really do feel fortunate that I can answer that question with a yes.
I'm
What
just
about
curious,
you,
did you
Amanda?
start on this have you been on the same career path like your entire
Absolutely
career?
not.
Okay,
Not.
how many times did you pivot?
God, a few times, a good handful of times. I again very fortunate that I had a mom who taught me the importance of working from a very early age. So as soon as I turned 14 years old, she went to my high school, made sure she got my working
Working paper.
papers, and made sure I don't know if that is that still a thing. I don't know. But back
It
then,
is. I have literally have my child's working paper right here, right
okay,
physically here. I need to take it to the school. So it is a thing, yes.
okay, so it's still a thing. That's good. But yeah, she made sure she walked up into that school and I was like not happy. Of course, I was like 14. So I was like, I don't want to spend my summers working. I just want to chill out with my friends, like whatever. But looking back at my age, I'm in my 30s right now. That's like the best thing that she could have done for me because it let me into this habit from really early on that like if you want something you have to work for it and you have to work hard for it.
Mhm.
And I remember back then the things that I wanted was very like like silly teenage stuff. I remember, for those of you who can recall, North Face was such like a popular brand back in the day, and there was this Pandora backpack that I wanted. And it had like it was the one that would like strap on and there was like this whistle. I don't know, I just wanted it, and it was expensive, or expensive for my family to afford at the
Mhm.
time. So
Mhm.
my mom was like, "Well, if you want it, then you'll work, and then whatever." She was like, "I'll delegate, X amount of money for that, and then the rest you have to put into your savings." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So, but other than that, just like other career journeys that I've went through, just
Mhm.
taking it a little bit more seriously as I got older, I was in a serious career path. I was going to pursue doing one type of career. I'll disclose this because it doesn't matter. I didn't pursue it. I was going to be a teacher. So I was in the field of working with children, and then I got to a point where I hit a brick wall, and I realized I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't
Mhm.
enjoy working with children, and I all kudos to my teachers if you're out there, if you're
Yes.
listening
Kudos
to
to
our
all the teachers,
podcast.
especially if you work in New York. Yes.
Yes.
Especially if you work in New York, you guys do an amazing job. You guys are severely underpaid. And you don't get your flowers that you deserve. But I just knew that I didn't want to do that anymore for myself, and I had to pivot. And I just so very randomly happened to just fall into the career, like the beginning, early junior stages of my career at that point, just by pure luck. And then I took it and I ran with it because I liked it. And yeah, I'm really, again, lucky and blessed that I can say, yes, I feel good where I am right now.
So I'm so happy we're on a great start so far. Thank you, Shawnee. What about you, Amanda? Do you feel that you're in a fulfilled career path now?
I do. I do, but it wasn't always like that. Not to say I didn't feel fulfilled in my previous jobs, but I didn't intend to work in the field that I work in today. I started off college with accounting as my
Interesting.
as my major, and that's because I came from a family like my dad was an accountant and a very good one, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to do that. So I ended up working in finance for some time, for like about 7 years or so. And then I was like, you know what? But I had gone to do my grad program during that time on a like this is not a topic that's known in my culture very much. So I'm not going to disclose what it is because I'll kind of figure out what I do for a living. But I loved when I looked at the curriculum, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Now, when I finished my program, I was still working in finance and I was like, ooh, I was like, I enjoyed my work. I loved my team, but I was like, I don't think this is for me anymore. And then
Mhm.
I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to join another organization. And I can fully say 4 years later, here I am. I love what I do. I love the people I work with. We work very hard, but I do enjoy my work, and it's okay to change.
Mhm.
Like it's okay to change your path, and kind of follow what you want to do.
And we can talk a little bit about that. So here we're talking about like career wellness. So one, you want to, we're big on, I think a couple of our episodes, we talked about like assessing, like, doing like a self check for yourself, seeing where you are. And I think that's where you need to start. I think Shawnee like says that all the time, like see where you are right now, currently assess where you are right now, and then like decide what you like and what you don't like in order to know if you're fulfilled or not fulfilled. Like, so I'm just curious, for you guys, say you're in a fulfilled career path, um how do you know you feel fulfilled? Like what are the actual, I guess, things that you feel, emotions that you're feeling to really know that you're fulfilled?
Yeah, excellent question. I think that I've been in a position where I know what not feeling fulfilled means, and almost like miserable, not happy. And that's when you wake up in the morning and your first thought is, I don't want to go to work.
Oh.
That is one of literally maybe top worst feelings ever that you can have, is waking up and not looking forward to where your day is going to take you. And if that's work, which is typically a good chunk of your week, that's not a good sign. That's a sign that you're not in a place where you should be in your career.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, like if you have that dreadful feeling, and and it might not even be like your career that's the cause of that, right? It could be many different factors in the workplace. It could be like your boss, for example, your supervisor, that
Mhm,
makes that environment feel like that for you.
mhm.
It could be the actual projects that you're working on that can make you feel like that. Like, I really don't want to do this and I really don't want to go to work. And if you find yourself feeling like that anxious type of feeling, right? That's not a good sign. So it could also mean that, hey, maybe this is the career that you like, but it might not be aligned to what you want to do. So at that point, I would highly suggest that you explore other opportunities for yourself instead of sticking to what maybe feels safe. There could be a reason why you're there for as long as, or whatever the reason is, but then at that point, I always say it's time to jump ship when you start to have those feelings.
Right. No, that's great advice, Shawnee. Excellent advice. What about you, Amanda?
I mean, you must feel content. Like when you go to work, like, I feel like I belong here. I feel like this place represents my values too. So a big thing for me when I'm, looking to either like to switch jobs, let's say, I must align with the company and what they're doing, right? Because I feel like if you work in an organization where it's not the right fit for you, whether what their purpose is or how they do business and so forth, because to Shawnee's point, you may like working as an accountant, but maybe it's the environment in which you're in. So I think, for me, when I made my change into the current organization I'm working with, I loved what they did. And I was like, it aligns with my values. So I would just, you have to feel content when you go to work. You have to feel like, oh, I'm making a difference. For me, it's big. Like I want to make a difference in the world.
Mhm.
Which is why I think we have this podcast, because we want to make a difference in
Right.
whatever way that is. So
I
that
also, yeah, I also feel like being stimulated, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
I think, and that was a big reason why I left my last job, was because, for me, right? And there's nothing wrong with tasks being redundant and
Right.
Mhm.
and doing the same thing. If you find comfort in that and you're content, by all means,
Mhm.
rock out. But for me, I like to feel stimulated at work. Like I need to be challenged, because if I'm not challenged, then I'm bored. And if I'm doing the same thing every day, I get bored and I'm just, my mind starts to wander and I can't be like that. I can't function like that. So I need to be personally in a work environment where I need to have these different challenges and projects going on. And I need to be constantly learning something new, because if I'm not stimulated in that sense, then it's not a good recipe for Shawnee in the workplace.
And I think that's important because, like, what, 40 hours a week is your typical work week. And then by the time you get into work and you get home, you're spending less time with your family. You're spending more time in the office. And I feel like work wellness, career wellness is a huge component that makes up our overall wellness, as a component, as a body, as a whole, to bring it all together. And I love what you said, Shawnee, too, that stimulating, you're making sure that you're being stimulated is important, but not everybody's like that. Not everyone likes to have things shift around. You're like,
Right.
no, I want to come in and count in my spreadsheet and just check everything off. It's the same journal entries. So just, you have to know your own personality and what you like and what you don't like. For me, I'm in the same career. So my first job, though, I had one, like, I wasn't really a career. My parents tried to make me work at an early age like you, Shawnee, but it didn't work. I worked at Macy's when I was 16 as like the, seasonal, like Christmas.
Mm.
And I think I lasted 3 days. I started on a Monday. And then I remember calling my dad on Wednesday because I worked in the intimates. And ever since then, the intimates department, like, everyone just dropped everything. So I was in the fitting room all day. And I remember just being in there, people would try stuff on. It was, some of them were disgusting. And then they're like leaving it all over the floor. And then, had the little hangers and you have to, like, oh my gosh, put it on. And you have to go find it. I hated that job. And the third day, I never collected my paycheck for the 3 days. Like,
You
they
gave
still
them
owe me
free
money.
labor?
I did. I called my dad. I know my dad, like, he came and picked me up. Whereas my mom was like, no, you need to go back. You need to continue. And then I got into an internship soon after that from like high school. And then that's my career path. And it's
Wow.
always been my career path. So I never like pivoted. And I think, to your point too, Shawnee and Amanda, in regards to stimulating yourself, do you feel that you could stimulate yourself if it's like the work is monotonous? Is there something else that you could do to stimulate your own self if the company isn't doing it for you?
I think so, because if this is your career, it's yours. You're providing a service for that company, but it's your career, so you have to invest in yourself. Whether it is like going away to a conference and learning something new and bringing it back, because even the jobs that are the same over and over, I feel like sometimes they just need a new fresh way of looking at things. And if you learn, I'm not saying it's going to be applicable and okay for everyone, but you can come back to the table and say, hey, I learned this. How about we try doing this journal entry this way? Or let's try this new software to open up their eyes. A lot of times people and companies get comfortable in their process, and maybe they just need someone with a new perspective. So I think you can make your job a little bit more fun. Find things that interest you in learning more to make you a better employee in whatever career you work in.
I feel like that's easier said than done, though, because I agree with you, Amanda.
Mhm.
I feel like if you have the capability in your place of work to be able to contribute new
Mhm.
ideas and be able to, look at things from a different perspective and have it being welcomed there, that is a
True.
privilege, right? But that's not always the case. There are
True.
companies, and I've worked with companies that are like that, that are just very not open to hearing their employees' suggestions, or like, because they're very like,
They're rigid. And
right, very
yeah.
rigid. And I think those are really the companies that you don't want to work for if you're someone that wants
Yeah.
to be stimulated and you want to be ambitious in that sense. But I feel like you have to assess where you work, right? You have to know
Yes.
the company that you're working for and what they welcome and what they don't welcome. And if you feel like you're in a position and you have contributed new ideas and new ways to do things or processes or whatever the case is, and it's not something that's, take into
Mhm.
consideration, then again, maybe that's not the place for you. And you need to find a company that welcomes that and
Right.
Absolutely.
wants those like ideas and things like that.
Right. I was gonna just pivot to a point that you guys both said that this is not your where you guys are right now was in the beginning of your career journey. So did you guys have to rebrand yourself? Because maybe there's some people in our audience right now that are looking to make a move out and step into the world and do something different. What component of rebranding should they be considering before making that move?
I think if you are considering to rebrand yourself professionally, you need to look into the requirements of what that's going to take. So does rebranding mean that you have to go back to school and get
Mhm.
like a certain degree? Does it mean that you have to get a certain certification? I think I would explore that first to see exactly what you're looking to do, what the requirements are, even if it's like entry level, like how do you get your foot in the door? So I would say one, do a lot of research into what you're looking to explore. I would start there and see what that is like and see if it's worth the investment. I'm always going to say it's always worth the investment, especially if you're not happy with where you are, because I'm just like a fan of like always, it's never too late to rebrand yourself.
Right.
But I feel like you do really need to be realistic as well. Like, if it does require you to go back to school, is it worth that financial investment?
Mhm.
Right. But you can't put a price on happiness, so I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But it's like to the point earlier about stimulating,
Right.
yourself in your job. Maybe that's the opportunity where you start your rebranding. Okay, I go to this job, it's the same thing every day. I'm getting bored with it. Okay, let me in this job prepare for this career that I do want. And again, you have to be smart about it if you can financially afford it and all that good stuff. But that's where you can start that research so you're not unemployed rebranding yourself. But that's not fun, like I'm going to quit my job and just like, focus on that. That's not really realistic. But
Mhm.
in those opportunities that you have, okay, I'm bored here, but let me figure out where do I want to go with this? Who do I want to be? What kind of place do I want to work for? Answer those
Mhm.
questions while you're employed.
Right. When
Keyword viewers, while you're employed, while you have money coming in.
Yes,
Money isn't
important.
everything, but money is
yeah,
really important.
Yes.
right. When we were in the green room, Amanda, before the show, you
Yeah.
talked about, being setting realistic expectations. So
Yeah.
you sort of disagreed with Shawnee and I a little bit about, and I love your example that you used about the brain surgeon and
Yeah.
so talk to us a little bit like about that.
So it's never too late to learn, right? It's
Right.
never too late to learn. It's never too late to actually. Let's say in your younger years, you never got a chance to go to college because you were busy like helping your family, growing your family, and all that good stuff. All for that. However, guys, you cannot be 80 years old and try to be a brain surgeon. For the love of God,
I agree. Disagree.
you can go to school, you can go to med school, and you can learn, but am I going to be able to practice being a surgeon if I'm like I can't even knit properly?
We apologize ahead for any 80-year-old that or they're watching us that want to be a surgeon. We apologize ahead.
I
Go
disagree.
to school, learn, like do that stuff. But I and the only reason I'm saying that, not because I'm a mean person, guys, but I want you to be employed. I want you to get a job. I want you to be able to enjoy working in whatever it is that you are studying for. So I just think we need to be realistic about our expectations for ourselves. Because I can say I want to be a rocket, whatever those people are called, that goes into space. But
An astronaut?
Astronaut.
there you go. But I can't like I do not have the aptitude right now to go and learn like physics and all that stuff. I'll tell you right now, no, I do not. Uh,
Guys, don't listen to this advice. This is not good.
you have to know what you're capable of. You have to know what you like. You have to know what's gonna take you to the next level of because there must be a reason why you're pivoting, whether you're 80 or 30 or 40. Why are you pivoting? But be realistic about it because the last thing you want is to invest in something that's one going to give you a big bill and you're not happy when you invest in it and you're not happy with the job you get out of it or you're not capable of doing the job because you're shaking. Just saying.
So I agree with that last part.
We apologize ahead of time. Please don't write us any hate
No,
mail.
You know what's gonna happen, Amanda? You're gonna need some life-saving surgery, and the
Yes.
80-year-old surgeon is gonna be the only person in the world qualified to do it.
because he
I'm gonna
has
show them this
experience.
episode.
Because he has experience. He's been doing it since he's like 25. So sure, let the 80-year-old operate on me. I love it. He knows what he's doing. Save my life, please.
No, I don't. I respectfully will disagree with Amanda, where I feel like it's never too late to turn your career around. I don't feel there's an age cap. If you have the capabilities, the motivation, and the dedication to want to become a lawyer in your 60s, I've
Mhm.
seen it so many
Mhm.
times where people just do major career shifts
Mhm.
throughout different stages of their lives, and I admire those people.
Mhm.
Like, how great is it for some people to have gone to law school and then one
Right.
day in their 40s or 50s or whatever, they're like, you know what? I think I want to be a social worker. You know what I mean? Like, just things that I find that to be very admirable of
It
people.
is. It is.
But, but, but Amanda, I don't think that someone or any of our viewers should count themselves out or get into
No.
that mindset where they think it's too late for themselves. It's too
Mhm.
late. Because once you have that defeatist attitude, then you're just going to stay stuck and miserable. But if you know, and I guess that's what Amanda's trying to say, if
Yeah.
you know that making this switch for yourself is going to bring you the happiness that
Exactly.
you want, go for it. But if you're someone that's just like messing around, it's like, oh, you know what, makeup one day, and I'm like, oh, I want to be I want to be a surgeon, I want to be an architect, but with like no real like thought into it, no research into it, then
Correct.
no, like I wouldn't suggest that. I would say, you know, really put some more thought into it, maybe go into an internship if you can find one, but really
Nice.
really think about it. But I don't think it's ever too late to do anything that you want to do and you can put your mind to.
For real. I believe that
Shoot
100%.
for
I
the
think
stars.
yeah. Reach for the stars. Reach for the stars. And even if you, well, reach for the moon. And even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Oh my
So
God, my dad used to write that in all my graduation cards.
no way. That is
Yeah.
like my favorite quote ever since I was like very young
Oh
in
my
high
God.
school.
Yeah, he used to write in all of our graduation, like happy graduation cards. It's always that same line.
I write it in every graduation card.
Really?
Literally write it in every that and like a specific like verse. But I'm like, I write that in every because I believe in that. I believe like go for the moon. And you know what? And even if you miss the moon, you still have the beautiful stars. And who doesn't love stars? Stars are beautiful. I think they're prettier than the moon. I like watching the moon, but I love the stars. But overall, I think why would you guys take advice from us in regards to career wellness? One, you can see that we're fulfilled in our careers, and I think that's important, right? So we don't need to be like gurus in career, but career advancement. But you want to learn from other people and hear from other people when they're fulfilled in their career and how they're progressing. How did they get there? And that's what we wanted to share with you guys. Also, I also believe like we should never like pigeonhole ourselves in, and maybe you guys agree or disagree, you guys let me know, but pigeonhole yourself in like one career. Maybe you want to dabble in something else. Maybe you, and now in these days, I feel you can have some side hustles and to kind of generate more revenue, but also do something else that you love. Like Shawnee said, keep your job. Maybe you like what you do, but maybe you like crocheting, like we talked about in another episode. So what are your thoughts about that? Side hustles?
I love side hustles. I love seeing people embrace their side hustles. Keep your full-time job, but if you have a creative side to yourself, like Kenise, crocheting, Kenise, you could be knitting, clothing pieces and sell it.
I did this. I crocheted this. You see this?
How cute is that?
Isn't it cute?
That's
I
very
would buy
cute.
that.
Would you?
I
It's
would.
on Temu for $2.
She did
But
not
this is my
crochet.
goal. I want to make these. I want to make these. I want to make them. I'm selling them for $50. So
I wouldn't pay 50 for
okay,
it, but
$5.
but yeah, I think if you can tap into like any hobby that you have that
Right.
makes you happy when you do it, you said like it's something that makes Mod Podging and crocheting as happy as it makes Kenise. Like,
A pottery. Like, remember, like Amanda talked about pottery. Maybe she has a side hustle pottery business on Etsy.
Coming, guys, it's coming soon.
okay, so it's coming soon. But even like if you look at like today's world, there's so many, and I hate to even bring this up, but like influencers right
Mm.
out there that are getting paid for the content that they're putting out there. And it's really just like very simple content that they're putting out there. The difference is that they're consistent with it and it picked up traction and it picked up speed and now they're monetizing over it. So maybe if you're not like camera shy or whatever the case is, you know, absolutely try to explore that avenue. But I love side hustles. If you guys know any side hustles that you want to share and not gatekeep, please feel to drop it in the comments.
Well, I think like Amanda, you want to go over because we did some research for you guys and we want to make sure our podcast educates you guys as well. We provide resources for you all as well. So we have like the top few 5, I think, side hustles for 2025 and even over like, you know, not even halfway in the year as of yet. But I'm gonna hand it over to Amanda. She's gonna share all these amazing side hustles, Amanda.
Well, I think to Shawnee's point, find what you like you like whatever skill that you have that you really enjoy, whether it's web development or writing or whatever that is, lean into it and you know, figure out a way to make money off that. Be a freelancer. That's a really good way to one practice that talent even more, and you make money off of doing something you really enjoy. So, you know, figure out what you're good at and put it out there. I am going to read some of the places you can do that. So some platforms are like Upwork, People Per Hour can help you find clients. So like some really good ones so you can put yourself out there and monetize on your skills. There's always stuff like
Fiverr as well. So Fiverr, I use Fiverr like if I need, like I've done like projects and stuff and I need like a web designer or I need somebody to like, you know, illustrate a book cover and stuff like that. Like there's so many of them that are great. So I know people that have their portfolio on there. And so Fiverr is also really great. You do get a lot of traffic there, I believe, for a side hustle business.
That's
good. I haven't
fantastic.
heard of these companies before.
Oh, you see, look, we are a resource to even the podcast hosts.
And
I've
news
heard
to
of
me.
Upwork, but not the others before. So that's great. Thank you, Kenise. Shawnee, we need to look at this after to create our own.
I want to look at the last one.
We're gonna get there. You guys don't want to miss this episode, so don't click off. You
Yes,
have to
wait until the very end,
end.
guys. Online teaching and tutoring. And I think we can throw in there like coaching and mentorship also. You know, some platforms are like Teachable and Udemy can help create and sell courses. Again, capitalize on what you already have. I think everyone is special and everyone has something that they can offer. Just figure out what that is and just put it out there.
Yeah, also, sorry to interrupt you, especially if you're bilingual. I think being bilingual sometimes is very underrated.
Yes.
Or maybe it's not, but I feel like it's not made as big of a deal as it is. Like if you're bilingual, that is such a superpower. I'm not bilingual. I wish I was.
I'm bilingual in my Creole language of my native country. So I am bilingual. Thank you very much.
You're bilingual-ish.
Bilingual-ish. But if you are fluent in another language other than
fluent
English,
in my ease.
English, you can find like translation services like people. I've heard of that, like companies will pay you to translate things for them, and it's like easy money. So just plugging that in there.
Thank you, Shawnee.
Thank you. Another one for all our creative people who know how to you know, create templates and like, you know, all the cutesy stuff that you can do. Etsy and Shopify can be your best friend because you can create these digital products and put them up there. And people like me who are not like that creative, like I'll be very basic, people like me go and look for stuff like that. So I feel like that's another avenue that we can explore.
And just to add to the digital products, like if you just like love t-shirts, I love t-shirts with like graphics on them, like writing on them. Like I can take everything sentence I say because it's so powerful and impacting to the world and put it on t-shirts. So you can actually, you don't need to have a warehouse with these t-shirts, right, Amanda? So I can like create it. You use like Canva, create your little arts. I've done it. Trust me, I've done it because I find like literally some comments that I've made and our people say a comment. I'm like, oh, I love that. And then I go onto Canva, I make it. I mean, I don't do make money from this is not my side hustle, but I do create t-shirts and then through Printify, like they do everything for me. So they ship it out if I want to ship it to my friends. Also Canva, you can create t-shirts in Canva. So you do like, and you can like order it and you could, I wouldn't go through that way to sell it, but if you just wanted to just practice, I do that all the time, all the time.
And for Canva, you don't even have to get like the one you pay for to like design. You can have some very basic designs for free and you can just order it off of there and just like test it out. You never know. That could be a thing that takes off. The truth is we never know what takes off, like, you
Right.
know, how we're going to take off here on OTR, but you never know what's going to do it. So just try it.
But like Shawnee said, you got to stay consistent. Like, don't, you're not going to make it the first t-shirt. You know, your first translation, you're not going to make the $1 million, but who knows? Just
That's
keep it,
true.
just keep going.
Keep doing it. And a lot of people have retired because of their side hustle,
Yeah.
because it's taken off.
Preach, Amanda, preach.
I didn't know we were in church today.
Feel it, amen.
I need to tell myself that. E-commerce, print on demand, you know, start an online store without holding any inventory. A lot of people do this on Amazon where they connect with like a wholesaler. So technically they're not buying all these journals that we're paying like 15 bucks for. They pay like $50 for 100 of them. And here we are paying 15 bucks for them because they're cute, because you're not going to go find the wholesaler, but somebody did that work for us to get it for $15 and in 2 days because of Amazon Prime. So, you know, if you have an eye for things, maybe that's something that you look into. And of course, social media, to Shawnee's point where we started, being an influencer, if you have it, like Shawnee has the perfect podcast voice and like a radio voice, like this is for her, right? Like this is going to take off because of her and Kenny's. But like, you know,
You're the O, I'm the T, and she's the R.
But you know, offer like through social media, you can do like the affiliate marketing. Eventually, people can pay you to wear their brand or to use their products and to talk about it. So don't rule out social media if you don't want to be an influencer. There's other ways you can go around utilizing it. But the best for last.
Well, before just the social media one, like I don't know, like on Facebook and Instagram, I see this woman who has millions of views. She doesn't talk on her video. All she does, she's like in her closet. It's a pretty closet. And she takes like just like cloth and she makes her dresses. Have you guys seen this woman? Okay. She shows you how to take like a blazer and make it into a skirt with some pins. And like, I am obsessed with her because I'm a weird one, as you guys could probably tell. But I just watch these videos, 24 million. 18 million views, and they're not like on for 2 years. Like these are like a couple of months, these videos. Like she takes like a piece of cloth and makes a gorgeous dress on camera by just pinning it here. Some of them she has scrunchies, the regular black scrunchies that she uses to tie it, and she has pretty little like hairpin, like hair clips for your hair.
That's amazing.
And she
I gotta share one. You guys haven't seen this lady? I don't even think she speaks English. She's probably like Ukrainian or Russian or something. She's European. I don't even think she speaks English because all of her songs, her music in her background is like language I don't understand.
Also, she has to be a pretty big deal for her to land up on your feed.
I don't even know how she landed on my feed. When I find it, I'll send it to you guys because that's
curious.
Incredible what she does. Like I look at it, like I watched the video like 20 times. I'm like, I need to try. I don't try it, but she just takes your regular clothes. You wear a dress and you wear just like a blazer over it. I don't know what this woman does, and she makes it into just like gorgeous attire.
Everybody has their own skill set, right? She's artistic, she's creative, and all she's doing is literally showing you what she would do by herself. So I feel like there's so much you can do safely on social media that can take off, because there's people who enjoy watching that content like Kenise.
But this is really boring, Amanda. Is there anything like fun?
So
these side hustles are like
I know I'm just falling asleep.
I know,
Yeah.
I am sorry. So I saved this for last because this may be controversial, what I'm about to say. Apparently, I'm the controversial person tonight. But, but how do you guys feel about selling feet?
Like
Like
feet?
Yeah,
like
photos
chicken
of your
feet?
feet,
Oh, feet pics.
feet pics, a foot fetish. So there's a lot of people that I've heard that make money off of selling pictures of their feet
Is
as
that
a
nice?
side hustle.
Is that true?
Yes, I think there's a certain type of audience that enjoy looking at feet, but would any of you consider doing something like that? You're not showing your face, you're not using your name. Can you sell some pictures of your feet as a side hustle?
Hell yeah, I will sell pictures of
Wait,
my
no.
feet.
First of all, like, so what? Who's looking?
You don't know. You don't know. They're paying customers. You don't know who's going to be buying your little plot of crochet, right? You don't know who you're sending that off to, Kenise. It's the same concept.
Okay.
But you're just okay, so it's something you have to obviously get comfortable with. This is not something normal that everyone does, but we all know that there are other types of, things that people sell on the internet. I'm not going to get into that. But selling pictures of your feet is something like I've heard about. I'm like, wow. And you're not showing your face. It's just pictures of your, feet in like maybe feet in socks. Maybe somebody's going to want to buy the sock that you wore. That's just a little weird, but hey, if it works for you.
I want to know if any of our viewers have tried this out. Please let me know. I'm so curious to like really find out if this was like a good venture for you, if you have ever sold pictures of your feet.
And how much money are you making off of it?
Yeah, we'll keep it confidential if you want to keep it
Yes.
confidential, but I'm just very curious. Like, how much does one, like, do you put both feet in the pictures? You do one foot in
But who's looking at this stuff though? Again,
People have a fetish, Kenise.
Yeah. A foot fetish.
but what
There's
did
a
he want to
fetish
do
for
with my
everything.
foot? What did he doing with my foot?
Well,
I don't know. I don't buy feet
Okay,
pictures.
all right, well,
I
how much
don't
money am I making on this? Because I think we should try this out. I think
Yes.
we should try this. I think we should
let's try and
definitely.
make money from selling pictures of our feet.
I think we should test it out for our viewers. So this is just like a beta test.
So I'm just curious, how did our career wellness episode get to?
It's a side
Well, we're
hustle.
talking about side hustles,
Okay.
fulfilling in your careers, and now we're meeting every need of every person here on this.
Okay. So you know what? Let's take a poll, right? Drop it in the comments if you want us to personally review and report back to you guys about what it's like selling feet pictures.
And
You get paid for
that's
this?
not code for something. It is selling pictures of your feet.
How much is it though?
I don't know.
Are you looking this up? I don't know.
I've never explored it, but I've just heard about people selling pictures of anything, like of your hands. Like people, like they would post stuff of their hands. Like it's the truth is some people just like what they like, and they like, I don't know what they do with it, but they like to look at certain things.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If one of our viewers has a foot fetish or any kind of fetish, there's nothing wrong with that. No
just be
judgments
safe.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that's a wacky one, like selling pictures of your feet, but we all know that things like this exist and people make money off of them.
Mhm.
But it's kind of that was just like a funny plug. But I am curious to know how much
How
money.
much do they make though? Did you guys figure that out?
No, I don't know how much
No.
money they make because I
I
don't
can
want to put
Google
that.
it.
And then you're gonna
Yeah.
have like ads for foot.
Okay, let me go on. I'm gonna Google it right now. How
I'm
much?
gonna go on ChatGPT to see if ChatGPT knows the answer to this question.
Foot.
And make sure you find out if it's like both feet or 1 foot.
Oh, you said on OnlyFans?
Oh,
On OnlyFans, earnings selling feet pics vary greatly based on factors like content, engagement, and marketing. But casual sellers can earn between $200 to $500 a week. while more
Wow.
dedicated creators, what does dedicated creators mean? Could make $500 to $3,000 weekly.
Wow. ChatGPT says anywhere between $50 to $500 a month if they sell regularly and build a reputation. What reputation are you building with your feet?
I think you have to, like we were talking about,
Like, does your
branding
foot have to
yourself.
have a personality?
Yes, it has to have a brand. And what does it say? Like, these are my workout feet, and they have like cute, I don't know, workout socks. I don't know. I don't even like my feet. Like, I have like really ugly feet. So like, but there is something out there for everyone. No shame, no game. You know, it is what
I
it
don't
is.
knock the hustle at all.
Because if you're pulling
Okay.
in $3,000 a week from selling pictures of your feet, I don't know what else how you're marketing that. Maybe you can tell us, how do you market that to get that?
Yeah,
I'm
if
sure
you're-
there's YouTube videos on this.
we're clearly going down a rabbit hole,
Yeah.
and I think we've strayed from.
So, with that
Career
being said, we're
wellness.
so happy that you guys joined us for our career wellness episode. So, we hope that you guys are taking away some very valuable information to make sure that your career and your mental health is on the same level. Did you guys want to add any final thoughts before we close out this amazing episode?
I feel like this is something you're doing for the rest of your life. It's not too late for you to dive into what you actually want to do. You spend so much time at work. I would truly hope you find some sort of joy in the work that you do. And if you don't right now, see what you can do to find something that you do like.
Yeah. No final thoughts for me. I think I said what I wanted to say in the episode. But for those of our viewers who want to ask us any specific questions about, career, your own journey, if you want to talk to us about anything related to today's topic,
Yes.
our email address should be somewhere
The
available
end of the episode.
at the end of the episode. We'll plug it in. If you want to write in anonymously, or if you just want us to private chat you, that's perfectly fine. We're definitely here to utilize as a resource.
And if you want to come onto our show and talk about how to get fulfilled on your career, we would be more than happy to have you as our guest on our show as well. I think my final thought is, like, you have one life. And at the end of the day, you want to enjoy. You don't want to wake up, like Shawnee saying, like, regretting that you don't really want to go in on this job. This is not the career that you want to do. You're not fulfilled at all. It's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it. We just have one life to live. So enjoy it and enjoy your career. So with that said, thank you guys so much for joining us on Off the Record. Until next time.
Guys.
Bye.